The heavy monsoon rain had a way of blurring everything. Colors, sounds, boundaries between sky and earth. Tiny rivulets formed on the dusty courtyard of the tuition center before trickling down into the drainage. I remember the smell of wet mud rising in gentle billows, the soft patter on the clay tiles, even the slight chill that crept through the cracked wooden windows. It felt like the world was breathing slowly, as if waking from a deep sleep. And I was awakening too, though I didn't know it yet. I'll never forget that morning. The year was 10th standard, and I had enrolled in a neighborhood tuition center in our small Tamil town to prepare for board exams. The teacher was strict but kind, the students studious yet friendly. It was a modest space with 12 desks arranged in neat rows, a big chalkboard, and one single ceiling fan that hummed drowsily above us. I arrived early, as was my habit. Just me, my worn backpack, and the sound of distant thunder rumbling beyond the rooftops. I chose the corner seat by the window because I liked the way it framed the rain, like cinema in real life. The world outside was drenched in gray and green, the sky and earth merging at the horizon. In that quiet, I felt at peace, hidden yet alive. And then he walked in. His entrance was unannounced. No grand gestures, no flamboyant flair, just a calm presence. Tall in a simple white shirt, slightly damp from the rain, with his black notebook under one arm and a single pencil in his hand. He paused briefly at the door, scanning the room, then quietly took a seat diagonally across from me. His eyes were gentle, thoughtful, the kind of gaze that didn't intrude, but stayed. It had a stillness that made the world hold its breath. In that instant, I forgot how to breathe too. All those times I had come here, watching the teacher's back, doodling in margins. I'd never seen him before. And yet, with him there, everything seemed different. The white walls, dusty fan, chalk dust motes, they fell away. There was only him, his silent, unassuming presence. That day, I discovered there are moments that change us forever. Moments colored not by events, but by presence.
The class began. Sir wrote formulas, students recited, scribbles filled notebooks, but I could no longer focus. My gaze drifted toward him. Across the aisle, just seeing his silhouette beneath the pale bulb light, behind those rippling raindrops, I felt a thrilling ache in my chest. Then, catastrophe, my pencil broke. Snap, sharp lead stabbing the page, then silence. I paused. Everyone seemed to freeze. I sat, heart pounding, staring at the broken stub in my hand. I didn't dare speak. No raising of hands, no asking for help. Because I was the shy girl, eyes down, voice seldom heard, and now utterly vulnerable without my writing tool. My connection to the lesson evaporated. It was in that soundless void that I felt a soft nudge at my elbow. My head turned slowly. A pencil lay on my desk. He had slid it over without a word, without looking, just a simple act of kindness. In that moment, I realized, being noticed, even in such a small way, felt like the sun breaking through clouds after a year-long winter. I looked up, found his gaze meeting mine for the briefest flash. He didn't smile or say anything, but there it was. A recognition, almost imperceptible, that he knew I existed. His gesture said more than words. I picked up the pencil, grateful and awed. Its wood was smooth, stained with use. Holding it felt like holding a lifeline. That single pencil had become my emblem of belonging. After class, I slipped it into my sketchbook. I couldn't help but think, what if this pencil was a message in disguise? That evening, the world outside my window had grown quiet. The rain had slowed to light drizzles, the street lamps glowing warmly against the damp pavement. I sat cross-legged on the floor, my sketchbook open, heart pounding. I didn't know his name, but I recognized his shadow. I began drawing. First, the shape of his face, gentle jaw, slight chin, a crease in his brow that gave him a pensive look. Then the eyes, calm, deep-set, attentive. Each stroke filled me with nervous energy, as though I was capturing not just a likeness, but a moment in time. I worked for hours in flickers of candlelight when the power cut out, in the soft glow of a nightlight later on. His face emerged delicately from my pencil. Brows, lips, hairline. Somehow, in those graphite lines, I spoke what I could never say. You matter. I didn't speak a word to him, didn't call out his name. But each evening as I sketched, I felt a conversation take shape, unspoken, invincible. That first drawing, it wasn't good, but it was real. It was me. I closed the book and lay awake, imagination tingling with hope. The next class arrived in a swirl of excitement. I was on edge, heart itching to speak, but the better part of me knew it would end in silence. Yet that afternoon, something inside me rallied. As we packed up, I found myself walking beside him by the courtyard. The rain had stopped, leaving everything washed and fragrant. My clothes still damp, hair clinging to my cheeks. I swallowed. My voice came out as a whisper. "Do you like the smell of candle wax?" He paused, turned slowly toward me. Surprise, warmth, and something akin to encouragement flickered in his eyes. "That's an odd question," he replied softly. I looked at him, cheeks burning. I like the scent. It makes me calm." He smiled, gentle as rain's first drop. "Your questions, they're honest, they're rare." He didn't say much else, but it was enough. His words crushed my fear, just a little. That evening, I wrote in my diary, "He said I was rare." A few days later, timing aligned again. We both finished class together. The skies were clearing, drift clouded and quiet. He stepped outside. I followed, heart pounding slower this time. We ended up walking down the same narrow street dotted with neem trees. I stayed a few meters behind, but he slowed and fell into step beside me. "Hey," he said softly. "My mom, she said your handwriting is beautiful." My heart cracked. My mom noticed it on some notes with her son. It was neat, elegant. He kept going as I blinked. "She said I should believe great handwriting means great attention to detail." I didn't reply. I couldn't. I nodded and swallowed hard. That 10-minute walk, with raindrops glistening around us, became the most intimate conversation we ever had. No holding hands, no confession. Just two strangers sharing a bit of their worlds. But that was enough. The next day, I went to class early. On his desk lay his notebook, left open. Drawn on the top page, in neat Tamil script, was a single line. "Some glances cannot be written in words." My breath caught. I didn't know if he wrote it himself, but somehow my heart whispered, he did. That line felt like it was meant for me, or for someone like me who often felt things more than she could say them. I gently closed the book, leaving it untouched again, but that line etched itself into my soul. Then, silence. He didn't come the next day, or the next. Rumors circulated among classmates that he'd enrolled in college, that he'd moved on. The teacher confirmed it that Friday. "Vikram has joined day college. No more tuition for him. No other explanation. No farewell gathering. Nothing." And just like that, he was gone. I returned to my dusty desk. The corner I had claimed was hollow without his tranquil presence. I searched my bag. There it was, his pencil, tucked in my sketchbook. I pulled it out, felt its weight, felt its presence, and cried. I sat in my room in the dim glow of a desk lamp. The rain outside picked up again, tapping on the window with a solemn rhythm. On my bed lay the drawing I'd made, his face softly sketched. Beside it, that pencil. I traced its wood grain with my fingertip. He never spoke love, never explained why he slid me the pencil, never shared his feelings in words. But in that silence, in that simple act, he had said everything. He gave me a pencil, but far more importantly, he left me with a memory, a spark, a truth, a first love, pure and unspoken. He may not have known the impact of his small kindness. He may have forgotten me by now, but I will always remember him. Because some people don't stay in your life, they stay in your memory. And that memory becomes a story that lives forever.